Well, everybody, it is time for the final franchise-specific game testing video for the GPD Win 3 handheld PC. This is something one of you specifically wanted a separated video on, and today we're diving into the Halo Master Chief Collection. This collection actually ran pretty smoothly on the GPD Win Max as well. I did a stream when Halo 4 came out and was really surprised and shocked at getting a good 40 FPS on that handheld in the first couple of stages. Now that we have the Win 3, let's take it one step further. As far as configuration and settings go, I had everything in this game on the performance settings for graphics and UI. Surprisingly enough, even setting the UI to performance mode improved the frame rate on some of the earlier entries. With that in mind, Halo 1 is the first oddity we have in this collection. Using the anniversary graphics, we get about 40 to 60 frames per second on performance mode that fluctuates a lot but doesn't really ever go under 40. But whenever I toggle the original graphics, from back on the original Xbox, the frame rate dives down a lot. Every time I tested it, I got 15 to 20 FPS and had to keep going back to the more high quality anniversary graphics. It's a very odd thing, but something that doesn't happen in later entries. Speaking of, let's move on to Halo 2. On performance mode, Halo 2 pretty much gets a 58 to 60 frames per second constantly on its anniversary graphics. This is really nice, but I was worried about what would happen if I toggled the original. They do go down a little bit, but nowhere near the level that Halo 1's did. On original graphics, we get a good 40 to 60 FPS, which is really good, just not as good as 58 to 60. With how the rest of the games play, I concluded that Halo 1 was just an oddity in this performance situation. Let's move on to Halo 3, what many fans consider to be the peak of the Halo series. With the same settings in mind, Halo 3 has a buttery smooth 60 frames per second during combat and exploration. This is a great turnaround as the Win 3 could play it smooth but nowhere near perfect like this. Moving on to Halo 3's little expansion, mini-campaign, whatever you call it, Halo 3 ODST also has really great performance. Whether you're going through a cinematic tutorial area or just running and gunning through a city, you're gonna get that same buttery smooth 60 frames per second that Halo 3 gave us just a moment ago. Keeping up original release order, let us now move into Halo Reach. This was kind of the squad-based game for Halo before they tried it again in Halo 5. This is also the game that we don't have to keep it at performance settings. We can bump it up to original graphics and it won't stay at a solid 60 frames per second, but it will fluctuate between the 50 and 60 FPS range. This is really nice as we can make it look just a little more crisp than the other games in this collection and still get that nice smoothness. Finally, we get to the game that I enjoyed more than any of the other games of the series. I don't know what it was, but I just loved playing through Halo 4. This is also something I did a stream of a while back when it first came out on the collection to showcase it on the GPD Win Max. On that 2020 unit, I was able to keep Halo 4 around 40 frames per second, which I was absolutely shocked by. But with the Win 3, we can do even better. We do have to keep it down on performance mode, but with that in mind, Halo 4 will have a non-stop 60 FPS, occasional down to 58, but pretty much perfect just like the performance with Halo 3. And that does it for our testing of Halo the Master Chief Collection. It is very unfortunate and weird that the original graphic settings in Halo 1 perform as low on FPS as they do, but we still have a really great little handheld now in a traditional handheld form factor that we can use to take with us and play most of the Halo mainline series on the go. This also ends my franchise-specific video series for GPD Win 3 testing. We still have a lot more tests to do because I plan on showcasing well over 120 games, but we're going to go from franchise-specific videos to service videos. Our next bit of coverage will likely be a huge compilation and showcasing of many Steam-based games running on the handheld. I'll also pop out a few Switch reviews here and there while we do this. But until then, thank you for watching and have a great day.